So last time we talked about putting together a group, which is if you have a group of friends that are interested in playing and you all want to start together. But that works a lot when you're in high school and certain levels of college once you've known people a long amount of time. But if you've just moved to a new place, you're probably looking more into joining a group. And joining a group is a little more difficult because you have to find a set of people that you like and that you can manage to sit with once a week and don't drive you crazy. And that can be a little difficult, but for the most part, you'll probably manage. The best way to do this is to go to your local game stores, comic book stores, and see if you can find anyone that's looking for a new player or looking to join a group. You can form your own group, things like that. I'm in Tallahassee, and here we have the Tallahassee Gamers Facebook, which sometimes pops up with different people looking for different games, new to town, here for college, that sort of thing. So that's one way of looking for things, looking on Facebook, looking on social media. Obsidian Portal is another online resource that will have games in your area and let you know what they're playing so you can find one that's looking for players. But that's pretty much the easiest way to go about it, is to look locally at your comic book stores or try and find something online or build something yourself. The best part about joining a group is that if you find you don't really like all of the people in that group, but you like some of them, you can see if you can snag those people and make your own group. Very few people I've come across that roleplay are adverse to being into 2 games in a week unless they're really busy. So, I mean, I'm in about 4 or 5 at this point, so that's something that happens. When you start a group and when you join a group, you'll run into different types of players. And I'm going to talk for a few videos about those types of people that you'll run into. And this week I'm going to start with 2 of the biggest ones and one smaller one. And those are the power gamer, the rules lawyer, and the roleplay everything guy. So, your power gamer is someone who has a tendency to overpower their characters. He's either like the strongest warrior in the land, or the greatest mage that has ever lived, or something of that nature. So, what he will do is he will take points out of important abilities and skills and put them into other abilities and skills to make him the best at a singular thing, which he will then use to overshadow the rest of the party. Sometimes this is intentional, sometimes it's not. So the most of the time your game master should be able to handle it, and doing that is a matter of making sure that each game is a mixture of what the entire party is good at and not just what one person is good at. However, sometimes you find a power gamer that finds a build that makes him good at everything, and that can be a real issue in terms of running game. So you have to be on the lookout for that. The rules lawyer, you'll probably, if you're starting a new game with new people, you'll pick up your rules lawyer pretty quickly. He or she will be that one that reads through the book 5 or 6 times in the first week and then starts questioning your decisions every time something comes up. The bad thing about a rules lawyer is that a lot of the times they seem to work only for themselves, so they want to do everything to get around the rules that benefits them. On the plus side, since they've read the book so many times, if you need a ruling straight from the book, chances are they've read it. So you can ask them and see what they have to say and make a decision based on that, so you don't hold up game trying to look through the book for a singular paragraph somewhere in like the 200-page book. So that's a bonus, but usually a lot of times it's a detriment. And then there's that guy, the guy who wants to roleplay everything. He or she usually comes in the form of someone who's pretty easy to game with, but when they're doing mundane things, they want to steal the spotlight from important things that are happening in game, such as if they're going grocery shopping, they want to roleplay themselves going grocery shopping and talking to people at the store, or if they are trying to rent a car, they want to roleplay the entire rent-a-car experience and pick out the model car that they get and all of that fun stuff. Which sometimes is kind of funny, but for the most part it tends to bog down game. So you have to be careful when and where you want to go with that. they're sort of a subsect of a sort of another group of people that sort of try to steal the spotlight for as long as possible, but I'll talk about them a little more later. For now, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about today. And next week I'll continue with different types of players that you might run into, and then we'll move on to different types of game masters that you might have to play under. Some of them are beneficial, some of them are not so much, but you try your best to make do with what you have, and sometimes you have to switch up things every now and again to make game better, or you have to talk. Most importantly, you need to communicate. If you're not having fun, you need to tell the other players, you need to tell your GM, because you should be having fun. Even when bad things are happening in-game, there should still be this driving force that makes you want to play more. And that's really what's most important. So always remember that.